Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode for Ford Friday we're going to be looking at the New Zealand Fordsierra. Hello, welcome back to Quarterlight. Now if you're new to Quarterlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars and car brochures, or indeed looking back at memories of cars gone by, please consider subscribing. It is all completely free. Anyway, back to today's episode, which was first aired on a Friday. Those episodes we call Ford Friday episodes because we look at a Ford around the world every Friday. Today, no exception. We're looking once again at the lovely Fordsierra, this time from New Zealand. So let's take a look at that one now. And here is today's brochure, Sierra, the Euro wagon. So unusual that New Zealand got this. This is just the estate or wagon version, and we'll talk a little bit more about why that was. But as we know, and we've looked at quite recently, when the Cortina actually went, it was replaced by this, the Ford Telstar in Australia and indeed in New Zealand. And in some ways it makes more sense than even the Sierra, really, because it's, you know, a four-door saloon, so it kind of like fits that Cortina mould a lot better. In Europe, of course, we got the Sierra. It came only as a hatchback at launch, and that was a little bit controversial, but in the end it was a good seller. And like I say, New Zealand, Australia, they got the Ford Telstar, which was a sort of Mazda developed car. Now, the problem for New Zealand wasn't that they didn't have a saloon. The problem for New Zealand was they didn't have a estate or wagon anymore once the Telstar arrived. I don't think that was a huge issue really in Australia. There wasn't a huge demand anyway for a medium-sized estate or wagon, but there was in New Zealand, and I think that gap was really missed. So what did New Zealand do? Well, they decided to bring this Sierra estate or Sierra wagon to New Zealand in sort of like knockdown kits that was assembled locally. Now I would imagine for the Ford Asia Pacific branch, I'm sure that was quite controversial. I don't really know how really they got away with that. And indeed it was very successful. It sold very well in New Zealand. That was until it was actually withdrawn from the market due to the Telstar wagon arriving, which was basically Mazda 626. However, the thing was, the Sierra wagon did far better than the Telstar wagon in the end, just to kind of like rub salt in the wound. I think mainly because I'm sure most people knew it was a Mazda based vehicle, and I'm sure that put a few customers off, but also you could just got the Mazda 626 and got a far better warranty, so I'm sure that was part of it as well. But certainly this Sierra did far better. But once the Telstar got the wagon, the Sierra wagon was dropped. Although quite interestingly, it sounds like they actually brought the Sierra back for a short while, because there was this sort of relative rejection of the Telstar in New Zealand, but I think it only came back for a couple of years and it was a high price and didn't really work as well somehow. But anyway, we're looking at these earlier Euro wagons. This particular brochure is from 1985. Front cover, we can see there, let's zoom in on that actually, is the Ghia version. You can tell by this slightly different front end, which we'll have a look at. Similar sort of idea than what we got in Europe as well. And the bottom there, as we say, it just says at the bottom there, the Sierra Euro wagon. So effectively, New Zealand was therefore the only country that I know that got both the Sierra and the Telstar. How weird. Anyway, let's open the brochure up and have a look inside. As we open the brochure, we get another side shot this time of the Ghia. Lots of different sorts of European flags to denote its Europeanness. But I always quite like the Sierra actually in Ghia form, with these sort of roof bars, and of course show off to your neighbours that this is the Ghia. Unusual wheel trims though, I don't know if I recognise them wheel trims. Anyway, we'll have a look at the text and learn a bit more about this unusual model. This is Fordsierra, the Euro wagon, a fresh, totally new concept in wagon technology, engineering, design and advanced streamlining. Sierra has been purpose-built as a new wagon range to take both private and business buyers towards the year 2000 in the style previously available only to exotic car owners apparently. Sierra is from Europe. It's European in concept, in execution and in efficiency. It provides real wagon load capacity and versatility, with quite exceptional levels of comfort, quietness and driving pleasure. Sierra starts where most wagons leave off. Its aerodynamic styling, frugal economy, impressive specifications and performance levels make it unique. The Fordsierra Euro wagon range 5 models: 1.6L 5-speed manual, 2 litre 5-speed manual and 4-speed automatic, and the sheer luxury of Ghia 5-speed manual and 4-speed automatic models. Drive one and discover the advantages of owning a Sierra. The bold initiative in wagon design. So there is, like I say, unusual wheel trims. This, like I say, is the Ghia model, colour coordinated door mirrors. Looks like we've got headrests all round for the New Zealand market, and this little bit of a luggage rack there on top. And then we turn the page, we get the more conventional model, the Fordsierra L, available both as a 1.6 and a 2 litre. And I guess this kind of like demonstrates, and we sometimes forget that the Australian market and the New Zealand market, although obviously they're going to share the similar cars, are going to have different wants. Like I said, I don't think in Australia there was a huge need for these medium-sized estates or station wagons. And certainly in Australia, I don't think a 1.6 litre station wagon would have been a good seller at all. I mean, last week, what did we look at? We looked at Sierras with a 3 litre engine in for the South African market. I imagine that would be more suiting to the Australian market. But like I say, I can't imagine a 1.6. But of course, vastly different size countries. Anyway, we'll read some more of the text and then we'll come back to this base model. It tells us, as with all Sierra Euro wagons, the overriding objective has been to fully harmonise the relationship between driver and machine. Sierra's advanced convex curved tailgate and glass provide a new era of aerodynamic efficiency, which is the secret to its impressive performance and fuel economy. Super slim wheel arches and bumper level tailgate access take the work out of loading even difficult wide or high loads. Fordsierra L model features 5 fabric trim, reclining seats, head restraints that are colour keyed and tilt adjustable, colour keyed velour carpet, sculptured headlining and advanced cockpit layout. Sierra is designed and engineered to work for the driver, the passenger and the load. Technology that goes to new levels of styling and engineering enhances the driving excitement for which Ford is renowned worldwide. Ford's unique scientific approach of using high technology, engineering and materials, plus ultra aerodynamic design provides the basis for today's most progressive wagon range. Sierra literally slices through the wind resistance barrier with an impressive 0.34 drag coefficient. To the Sierra owner, that translates into exceptional fuel economy, effortless performance and quietness. This is then complemented by fully independent suspension all round, plus proven Ford 1.6 or 2 litre power with the crisp precision and cruising capability of a long-legged 5-speed manual transmission. Optional 4-speed auto overdrive transmission is available with the 2 litre L. Inside Sierra, there are 2 things that make it unique. At the wheel, Sierra provides one of the most driver-responsive instrument layouts. The fascia is semi-wraparound so that all controls and information systems are biased to the reach and eye line of the driver. And at the business end, just through the wide assisted lift tailgate, you'll find a cavernous 1,962 litres of versatile load space. And with rear seats that split 40%, 60% or fold completely, you decide how to use it. Sierra L models, they get down to real business without getting down to just the basics. Interior, we're going to have a little bit of a glimpse of that interior of that L, the driver's layout as it says, on this unusual clock. And then, of course, it's an estate, so they're going to be looking at that interior. The wagon offers 1,703 litres of luggage space with the seats up and 1,962 litres when they are folded down. And then the main image, this is the 2 litre L, the larger engine of the two, where it's kind of like showing. Front head restraints, no head restraints at the rear. Again, wheel trims, although you'll notice we do get a slightly different front end as we did in Europe as well for the lower spec models, and of course no body coloured mirrors. But I think overall I always liked the Sierra estate actually. It was always a very practical car. Although you will notice by this time, 1985, they did smooth out that front nose where the earlier 84 ones in New Zealand had kind of like more of a grille design at the front there. And then we turn the page, we kind of like go from one extreme to the other, don't we, in this range, where in Europe we're more used to a more gradual range, but here it goes straight from the L straight to the luxury model, the Ghia. So either a basic vehicle or a luxury vehicle, I guess, is what they was heading for. Like I say, the Ghia version gets a slightly different front end with these light treatments. Anyway, we'll have a look at the text and then we'll come back to the images. Fordsierra Ghia, luxury by design. So Fordsierra Ghia, 3 small words that speak volumes about luxury, status, dramatic styling and unsurpassed levels of comfort and specification. Every inch of the sumptuous interior bears the influence of Ghia's world famous luxury styling. It's versatile as a wagon, yet has the qualities of Europe's most sought after luxury sedans. On board you'll find the sophistication and refinement of impeccable good taste. From its advanced wraparound fascia with onboard trip computer to quality Savoy seat trim, the Sierra Ghia is a stroke of genius. And the genius means real luxury inside and out, tinted side and rear glass, fog and additional halogen driving lamps, a sunroof that both slides or tilts, intermittent rear wash wipe, power controlled heated exterior mirrors, central locking, power steering, power windows, advanced graphic warning system, 4-function trip computer, roof rack and removable crossbars, AM FM radio cassette player with 4 speakers and electric aerial, and automatic self-leveling shock absorbers are just the start. The Sierra Ghia, prized, acclaimed and proven in Europe as a first choice for people with a lifestyle that matches their discriminating desire to have the very, very best. An extraordinary wagon of exceptional class and character, unique in New Zealand and unique to Ford. Then we have a glimpse of the interior. Quite unusual seats, aren't they, with sort of like stripe going across, but certainly much higher spec than that L model. It is a big jump from the L to the Ghia, of course. There is the interior with, like I say, a very high spec. Unusual that they jump from an L to the Ghia, because it is a real big contrast between the two models, of course. Just zoomed in there, I don't know if you can quite make out there, but I think this is possibly maybe the prize for the most miles, or in this case kilometers, on a car in a brochure. You normally got like 0 or like 1 or 5 on there, but this has got 3,535 kilometers, so it's obviously a vehicle that's been driven around, so I thought that was a little bit unusual. Anyway, moving on. Tells us Sierra Ghia onboard trip computer with 4 functions and LED display, and it's also showing us our auto transmission and electric windows all round there too, by the looks of it. And then the main image there, yes, the car you aspired to own, the Ghia. Like I said, different lights in the bumper there for the higher spec models, and these sort of like bumperettes or overriders on there as well. But certainly, like I keep saying, a huge jump from the lowly L to the high spec Ghia for New Zealand. Back page where we would normally find the specs. There is a little bit about the specs, but not a great deal, but we'll certainly have a look at it. It tells us Fordsierra Euro wagons, the bold initiative in automotive technology. At the top it starts talking about reliability with low cost maintenance, or Sierra technology, and quality ensures routine servicing is only required every 20,000 kilometers, with a safety check every 10,000. Self-adjusting brakes and clutch, service-free electronic brakeless ignition, easy C brake wear surveillance, Ford long life exhaust, incorporated aluminized and stainless steel components. A little bit about the New Zealand corrosion protection, and then it moves on to power and technology. So the latest 1.6 and 2 litre OHC Sierra engines both incorporate refined technology. The 1.6 litre features include new fast burn lean burn technology for better performance and fuel economy, a high compression ratio, and a new bore to stroke ratio for better torque. Then moves on to the 2 litre, features a revised cylinder block with additional stiffening to reduce noise and vibration, low friction, piston rings, a new Weber twin barrel carburetor with electrically controlled idle speed, and a fuel cut-off system that prevents fuel being drawn into the engine during deceleration. More responsive, quiet and fuel efficient Sierra's 2 litre engine option is also extremely reliable and easy to service. And then we get the 2 transmission options. So the manual, Sierra's 5-speed manual transmission improves open road fuel economy with an overdrive top gear. Closely controlled clearance makes shifting between ratios faster and smoother. We can option though the 4-speed auto overdrive for the 2 litre L and Ghia models. Sierra's 4-speed auto overdrive transmission marks a significant improvements in transmission engineering. The overdrive 4th gear is automatically selected at approximately 75 km per hour. Top speed is improved by 4%. And a torque converter lockup system in 3rd and 4th gears eliminate virtually all the slippage and power loss that causes fuel waste in traditional automatic systems. Fuel economy from Sierra's automatic overdrive equals the efficiency of the 5-speed manual transmission. And then it mentions suspension. So with Sierra, the days of sacrificing a soft ride for good road holding or vice versa are over. Fully independent suspension with McPherson struts up front and semi-trailing arm rear suspension delivers smooth but sure-footed ride characteristics. Inherent roll stiffness means superb handling without hard springs, and low scrub radius ensures optimum stability. We get the Ford badge and it says drive ahead with Ford. I'm not sure if that was maybe the caption for Ford in New Zealand at the time, I'm not sure. And then at the bottom here, Ford Motor Company of New Zealand Limited. Prices and specifications subject to change, of course. And this is where your dealer stamp would be, and also a little bit of a note there to put the model, the price, your trading terms and options, just for your dealer to, give you something to walk away with. And I guess this is your brochure code right at the bottom here, FP6515/85, which I'm thinking that means May 1985. So there you go, the Fordsierra wagon for New Zealand. And I think it's really unusual to see the Fordsierra wagon sold alongside the Telstar. Like I said, I think that's the only country in the world that actually sold the Telstar and the Sierra side by side, really offering the customer lots of variety there. But like I said, I don't think, Ford Asia Pacific branch was particularly keen on that idea. But anyway, it happened in New Zealand. Thank you so much for watching today. If you got memories of these Sierras in New Zealand, jot in the comments. Always love to see how they got in the New Zealand climate and conditions. Like I said, thank you so much for watching today. Many more episodes to come in the near future, so we'll say as we always do, if you've not done already, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. But like I say, thank you for watching today. I'm going to add a couple more boxes there for other episodes you may want to have a look at. But we'll end by saying, have a great weekend, take care, we'll see you very soon, and goodbye.